Thanks for listening to the Elias Macko Show, our Friday edition here. We're wrapping up the week. Last hour of the week for us here. We'll be with you until noon. Still much more ahead. We're going to begin this third hour of the program taking a look at the situation in Iran. Now, tensions in that country continue to escalate. There is international pressure mounting over the country's brutal crackdown on protests and its broader regional role. Now, this week, the European Union moved to list Iran's powerful Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization. It's a step aimed at punishing Tehran for human rights abuses and increasing isolation. The U.S.-based organization, Harana, says it has verified more than 6,000 deaths related to the protests and has more than 17,000 more recorded deaths under investigation. That could give that possible total upwards of 22,000. I've heard even higher tallies than that. Let's now go to Siavash Rokni, an Iranian-Canadian activist and a post-doctoral researcher at McGill University. Siavash, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Elias. Thank you.
So, what do you hear in your communications with people in Iran? What should our listeners know about the situation there?
Well, Elias, I'm gonna be very blunt with you. My sources describe the country's atmosphere as like a hot coal covered by ashes. So, literally, people are angry. People are very, very scared as well because there are checkpoints, random checkpoints everywhere around the country. And these are checkpoints with Basij militia and IRGC. And what they do is they check the car, they check the people's phones, and if they see something in the phone that's related to the protest, they may take them. They may put like a bag on their head and take them to an undisclosed location, and interrogate them, etc., etc. So those are the two things, the latest things that I've heard from contacts that I talked with in Iran. The blackout is still there. The internet blackout, and that is there is mixed news that the blackout is finished, but it's not finished. Internet has become kind of an intranet, so the regime has blacklisted the internet completely, and it whitelists only certain websites, and all of those websites are, of course, the websites that have their servers inside of the country. So people, who get connected, they get connected through VPNs, through other means of basically controlling that censorship. It's the situation is dire. Just to clarify about the numbers, You're absolutely right. The thing with Harana is that Harana follows a very strict confirmation method.
Mm-hmm.
They make sure that they have two witnesses or two people who know the person, and either like a photo of the person, the death certificate, etc., etc. The numbers, the higher numbers that you get are from investigations, and those investigations, they come from hospital by hospital accounts. They come from leaked documents from National Security Council as well as the Presidential Council. There are people in there who are very upset about this, evidently as well. So that's why they kind of leak those documents.
Mm-hmm.
We got to remember that this is not just numbers; these are people.
Mm-hmm.
This is sisters, brothers, mothers. Seymour organization in Toronto, who supports the LGBTQ community, reported a trans person passed away, killed by the regime. And these are florists, film makers, merchants, musicians. This is from all classes and all wide range of people in the society.
What do you think the resolve is this time around for those who are fighting the regime? And as I've heard people say, well, this time it's going to be different. How do you feel? Is this time different?
This time is already different. Look at Europe. Europe was, France was adamant, and same as Spain, was adamant to not allow European Union to put IRGC on the terror list. Imagine the atrocities that they have done. And those countries have their own intelligences. They know things that we don't hear from, like just general news, So it has come to this. This is different. The fact that European Union put IRGC on terror list means that this time is different. And the fact that the UK is doing that as well. The UK, for the longest time, they still have their embassy over there and everything. But the UK is also in the process of putting IRGC on terror list. So we got to be just looking at what is happening internationally in geopolitics to see that this is different.
We're with Siavash Rokni, an Iranian-Canadian activist and a postdoctoral researcher at McGill University. How do you think this plays out? What do you think is the likely scenario here? I'm not asking you to be to predict the future here, but just what is your gut and your knowledge of Iran tell you about where we're going?
Well, I'm just going to be honest. I don't know what is going to happen, but this is not the end of it. Just because that much murder happened in the country doesn't mean that it has finished. This will continue. We, in the Iranian diaspora, we will continue to go out. We will continue to push governments to be more proactive in condemning and in applying, with mechanisms to, cut the money of IRGC from and cut the terror that the IRGC causes in internationally, and stop this machine, this killing machine. The IRGC was put in the terror list in Canada in 2024, but the other piece that's very important for Canada is that in 2022, the Canadian government put lots of sanctions on the IRGC already, and they designated $75 million to apply those sanctions, and they called for a bureau in the foreign ministry. And there is no documents right now how that money was spent, what happened to that money, where is that bureau? It's just that it is a good step to put the IRGC in terror list. The second step of it should be to have mechanisms, proper mechanisms, to actually apply sanctions and apply that pressure.
And sanction those people. Now, I have to ask you before I have to let you go, how you view the U.S.'s role in all of this, them as a power, and obviously we've heard some tough talk from the U.S. President Donald Trump. How do you view their role in all of this and what they should be doing here?
They should be on the side of Iranian people. This is the time for the United States to be on the side of the Iranian people. They have done the talk. And now it's about the action. I don't know what the action will be. President Donald Trump is extremely unpredictable. There are a lot of Iranians who actually hope that Trump have limited attacks, targeted attacks to IRGC bases and to bases to areas that actually suppressed the people. Nobody wants war. I don't want war, but it has come to this. This violence has been so bad that even people who are anti-war are thinking that's the only option that this regime can go. I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but the United States has to use its force, with restraint to stop this violence and stop this massacre.
If it was limited, if there was that show of restraint, you'd be okay with U.S. intervention?
With targeted attacks to IRGC and the important bases that suppressed the people and killed that many people, yes, I will be okay with that.
Siavash, I have to leave it there. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show this morning and telling us everything you know. I'm sure many of our listeners appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
You too. That is Siavash Rokni, an Iranian-Canadian activist. He's also a postdoctoral researcher at McGill University.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.